Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today we're here to talk all things social media planning. So, I will just say that I am in no way, shape, or form a full time social media person. I am not always on Instagram, I'm not always on YouTube. I go through periods where I don't record videos, I don't post on Instagram, but I do like to have a separate social media planner just to be able to keep track of my social media ideas and videos and posts and all of those things. And so I do have a planner, and I think it's just time for me to flip through and talk to you about what I've been doing for 2024, and then also just to clean it out a little bit and get it set up for the rest of 2024 and going into 2025. So I wanted to show this to you. It is a big happy planner, mostly happy planner, but it is on like expander discs, and you can kind of see it's already like getting very full. So I like to be able to flip through several months at a time. I know I do flip through my social media planner in my monthly flip throughs, but this flip through is for essentially all of January through July, so the first 6 months of 2024. And then once I flip through it, I pretty much just take the pages out, decide if I want to keep them long term for any reason. If I don't want to keep them, then I do recycle those pages. And so it's a good way for me to clear out the planner pages and just get set up for future months. So with that being said, then let's just get into it. I do have a social media planner that is, like I said, a big happy planner on expander discs. I just recently decided to pull out this cover. I love this cover. It is a frosted cover from a plans and notes notebook slash planner. I guess it's a planner slash notebook, right? Plans and notes. I got this from Amazon. Actually, my sister-in-law got it for me for Christmas, and I love this cover. I love this line art. This is my favorite line art. My favorite florals from the happy planner. And I actually haven't used this cover ever, so it's my first time, and I thought it paired well with this. It's of course mixed metals, but I love it. And so the frosted cover it's got this one sheet. I love this sheet. It's just beautiful. And so what I've got in here is, I'll just start off with talking about what I've got at the beginning. So in the beginning, in my social media planner, I have like all of these notes to myself. Now I'll just, full disclosure, I actually had it to where this planner was like bulging. I had several like notes from Wild University, and I'll show you that in just a second, where I had like all the printables from Wild University as well. And so I went ahead and went through and just cleared out those Wild University notes just because, you know, they're proprietary. I didn't want to show those on camera, but I will point out that I did clear out like probably a stack like about an inch thick of paper already from here. So it was even more full than it is now. But I didn't use this one. This is from a teacher layout. I can't remember the name, but I love the florals here. I did end up printing out my name on like just regular sticker paper and cutting it here and putting it here. I love that. I love that font. I wish I could remember it. But this is like an older planner, hello page, right? And like I said, I did initially have like all of the notes for each of these printables, but I had like the notes for documenting December, one for kitchen declutter, and these are all, I put them in here in the social media because Wild University, for me, even though some of these are, like for example, this one is not social media related, but it is social media related because it came from Wild University. So all of these notes were in here. I ended up canceling my Wild University membership actually a year or so ago. I just have had the notes in here, and that's just the way that I do it is any notes that are relevant to that planner, I just try to keep together. So I try to keep it within the planner, if not within the planner itself, at least right next to it in like a separate like binder or folder. But I did go through, like I said, and had everything on the discs, and it was just getting so bulky. So it's definitely time to clean out. I also like to take notes to myself. These are, you can see here, like super old notes from like February, January, February. I'm not, honestly, like they're so old at this point, I don't even know what they're for. I think I was going through and just kind of cleaning out my digital files. I think that's what that's from. Right, this is actually very old. This is from, it says April 2019. I like to put the dates on everything, you can see here. And so this is from 2019, April of 2019. And it was a list of the different Happy Planner layouts. So you can kind of see here, there's like vertical, there's recipe. I tried to put them in the order that they were released as well. So the Happy Planner started off with their OG, which is the vertical. Then they actually released a couple of like home extension packs or like undated extension packs. So there was a recipe one, a recipe planner, there was a fitness planner. I still actually really love this fitness layout. There was the home extension pack. This is the old one, not the one that we see nowadays with like the 4 different dividers. This was like a very, 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 very old one. They did release their first version of the wedding, and so just going down, I have not updated this in a very long time. But you can see here down here, there's like a fitness planner that was the updated Healthy Hero version, and then of course they've released a wellness layout and all sorts of other stuff. So this is clearly not updated. I don't know if I want to keep this or not, right? But one of the things that I do like to do is after I flip through everything, like I said, after I flip through everything, I like to go back in and just make decisions on whether I want to keep it long term. So like some of these pages, I'll probably just recycle. But you know, some of these I might want to keep in here for a while. So these are just some more notes. This one is a note with some computer stuff again. Like I think I was going through a phase where I was kind of organizing my digital files, but this is from 2022. So this is not even in order, this front section. This is my messy handwriting. I don't even know what it says. It says prep home management files, I think. Physical, digital, phone, email, computer. All right. I think that says home, desk, can, pens. I have no idea. So that would obviously go because I don't even know what that means anymore. I also at one point was just like typing out all of my social media and planner tasks. I actually really still like this, so I would probably keep this in here as a long-term reference and probably add to it because I mean I definitely can. Right, and then here I had some ideas for a series that I wanted to run. I wanted to try to get to 400 ideas before I started the series. I'm nowhere near it. I only have 95 right now. Right, and then this right here is when I was doing my positive psychology series, which I've actually stopped doing. So I don't know. I feel like at this point where I am in my stage of life, I don't know that I would go back to this. So I don't know if I want to keep this in here long term, but these are my actual scores from that positive psychology series. Right, so here's some more notes from Dropbox. Right, Wild University. All right, Playing Your Perfect Space, 10-Minute Magic. If any of these catch your eye, by the way, the Wild University ones, you can definitely sign up. Wild University saves all of their previous courses, and so these courses are things that you can still access. So even though these are old and I printed them out a long time ago, they still are available for you to find. Right, so this is one about the Enneagram, garden planning. Definitely these Wild University ones I'm going to toss. Right, summer grilling. I never go outside to grill, so I don't even know why I printed that out. I basically printed everything out. Traveling tips and tricks, growing boldly. This one was with Emily Lee. Right, doodle degree. I was actually really wanting to do that, but I did not. Right, this one is with Irene Kwong from Simply Gilded. Right, and then here are some more notes. I have to blur this section out just because it's a post-it note with personal information on it, but then here are just again some additional tasks, and for the purposes of like organizing everything, this list might be something that I combine with another list, or I might just leave it in here just like this, right? So it's a matter of cleaning it out, saving the notes long term that I want to keep, and then just clearing out the things that I don't need anymore. And so it's good to flip through and just take a look. All right, so all of that was just the beginning information. These are the ones that if you can't tell, I have saved from planner to planner for quite a while now. I think the oldest note in there was from 2019. And so I have moved these notes from 2019 to 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and now to 2024. Some of them, I'm at the point now where I'm ready to leave, like get rid of them. So like, for example, the Happy Planner layouts, that was from 2019. I might go ahead and get rid of that. But some of these I do want to keep a little bit longer. And so anything that I don't want to keep, I'm just going to clear out, and it should save me some space because, I mean, it's a fairly decent amount of paper, right? And then of course, as I flipped through the actual planner pages, what I've been using for most of 2024, not all of it, but most of 2024 was outdated teacher layout pages. And so once I flip through these pages, I'm going to take the dividers, save those dividers with the rest of my big dividers Or if I don't do that, then I'll move it to the back to use for 2025, basically. But definitely the pages on the inside. If there are no tasks, if there are no major long-term items in there, then I would just toss the pages themselves. But these dividers are just random dividers from just my stash, and I don't use them monthly at all. So you can see that basically I could tape them together, but I don't like doing that just because I like to reuse the dividers. And so I have only weekly pages. This is the first official spread for 2024 in my social media layout. And so I do note in this like first row, my YouTube videos, and then usually the second one is like Instagram. The third one might potentially be Instagram as well. Then I do just like have notes to myself on like the bottom half of it. I write notes for YouTube analytics, things like that. But just looking at this in general, there's really no long-term tasks that I need. So just as an example, this would be something that I would just toss and put into recycling. So even though I love the stickers, I love looking at it, I just don't need to keep it in my space long-term. So this would be an example of a page that I would just recycle. And I'm just going to flip through it. The first month, January, I was fairly good about going in here and filling it out. But I do use, like I said, outdated pages, and I cover up the date on this side and then just redate across the top. This one was kind of weird. A weird thing because it was the end. You can see here, this is like basically the currently page. And so this side is the monthly. And so I decided to use scrapbook paper to cover up most of it and then just wrote on this side of it, essentially. And, I just try to adapt my stuff and try to use, both sides of a page. Going back to the traditional teacher layout. All right, and that was the end of January. Right, I don't use the monthly, like I said, so here's another random divider, right? And then going into February, I did still use the outdated teacher and redated across the top, just trying to use up my sticker stash as well. This week, I'm pretty sure I was on vacation, so it's very simple. Like, basically, I just laid down some stickers, but barely wrote in it. Look at this one. This is so bare. Maybe this was the week I was traveling. I can't remember which week I was traveling, but one of these 2 weeks in February, I definitely was traveling. We normally like to take a vacation around Valentine's Day because that's my anniversary. All right, look, this is so simple. So I'm pretty sure at this point, just like trying to get into my own head, I probably at some point right around here decided to switch to something different in March, and so I would guess that I did do that. Right, this page I didn't even fill out except for that one line. Like this, okay, so this is maybe a good spot to kind of stop. Like this right here, even though I've decorated it, I really didn't write in it. Like it's only this one. So this is an example of maybe a page that I would keep, right? And so I could just white this out, basically take this page or like this set of pages. I could, this is probably a little bit more writing than I would want, but I would just take this page, just ignore this back page, right? But take this spread essentially and just recycle it. I would just need to redate it. And so this would be an example of a page that I would keep and just put in the back. And I'll show you that as we go through as well. All right, so this is just, again, a random divider. Here in March, okay, so in March, I know for sure that I was using digital planning. I was actually on Google Calendar, so I don't have any pages in here, but I never did a flip through of my digital calendar, but I basically set it up on Google Calendar. If that's something that you're interested in seeing me show you or like set up a digital calendar, digital planner on Google Calendar, just let me know because I do love my digital tools. But I never did a flip through or setup or anything like that. But that was March. And then in April, I decided to do something completely different. I'm still using the teacher layout, but you can see here I basically did the entire thing on one spread, right? So it's just these 2 pages and I did it as a month, right? I love doing the teacher layout as this monthly. You can do this for classic size or for big size where you're able to just set it up as a monthly spread. It gives you the lines. I just really love it. But one thing is, down here, it just gets, for me at least, it got so messy. So there's some weeks you can see right here where I do nothing and then I just start piling on all the videos. And so I felt like it got really cluttered. So I would actually prefer having a week with nothing and then a week that's filled out, but it's a weekly spread and it doesn't look like it's just kind of unbalanced. And so I enjoyed doing this, but it's not my preferred method for kind of setting up social media. Despite that though, I'm pretty sure in May I did the same thing, right? So same kind of deal here where like you can see here it's very heavy at the beginning and then at the end it's like very light. So I go through seasons of just using or like recording a bunch of videos and then, getting busy, so on and so forth. These stickers, by the way, are from DEK Designs. And so this was one of their sub kits. I went ahead and put this in here. It was for May, so I decided to just go ahead and put that in there and took some additional notes on here. By the way, I haven't been naming where all the stickers are. If there's some stickers that you see in here that you're like, oh, that's cute, or you want me to try to name it, just put a timestamp and just let me know, or tell me the month or the week, and I'll be able to look it up and tell you. All right, so that was May. Going into June, what we have here is something brand new. I was trying to experiment with doing a Kanban board, and I actually really enjoyed doing this. This was starting with June 3rd. I know you probably can't see it, but it's like June 3rd, and then I just covered it up. And so what I did was put my ideas here, and any ideas that I filmed, I ended up highlighting. And then once I filmed it, like for example, social media process, this was the Kanban board, right? So once I wrote down the idea and filmed it, I highlighted it and then moved it over here, right? And once I edited it, it would move here and it would just kind of go across. So it'd be filming, editing, uploading. This is thumbnail, publishing, and then Instagram. And so these two, you can see I just kind of flip-flopped over time. This was my messy version of it. I had a couple of Instagram posts, so those were my Instagram posts, like all three of them. And then these were initially the post-it notes that I had, because the Kanban board method uses sticky notes to kind of move things from page to page. So I was doing that, and you'll see as we get into it, there are more sticky notes, and so I did carry the sticky notes through January. But going back here, I did this for a week, and I actually did not like the look of it. So it just looks boring. There are no stickers except for these, right? But it's just mostly writing, and the visual appeal of the Kanban board is the sticky notes. In the planner, I think it works okay, but I think it looks better if you're able to see it all at one time. And so for it to be week to week, it just didn't work for me. And I just had too many sticky notes too on the left hand side. And so what I did is in the second week decided to go back to, like, it's not really super traditional, but it's the teacher layout in the weekly method. And what I decided to do was kind of incorporate the Kanban idea into this, right? And so I did actually as I went through the week, I took all of these sticky notes, and you'll see some later, right? Like they're sticky notes here. All of these sticky notes just got put everywhere, right? So what I ended up doing was putting down the stickers and just decorating the page. Then on this side, I just stuck all of the sticky notes. Then on the 10th, well, this is actually just for Instagram. This is also for Instagram. But on the 10th, I didn't record any videos. On the 11th, I decided to record 2 videos. And so when I recorded it, I put the name of the video right here, right? I started recording it, and then I would put F. F is film, E is edit, U is upload, T is thumbnail, P is publish, and then I is Instagram. I'm really bad about posting on Instagram, right? But the day that I recorded the video, I would put it there and then put the date, right? And so I did 2 videos. I recorded 2 videos on that day. And then because I had this kind of like rest of the box, I would just fill it out when I went through the remaining steps. And so it's kind of like a mini Kanban within each box. And so that actually worked, right? So here on the 12th, I recorded 1 video, the micro DIY. I also had the sticky note. And so these sticky notes, because I went ahead and finished it, I went ahead and I finished these videos. This one is here, this one is here. I just taped down those sticky notes and just kind of left them here because they are finished videos at this point, right? I recorded a couple of other videos. Right here's a micro plan with me. That's like right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's like light green. So that's there. This video was posted next week, but I did record the video here, right? And then here, this is the note that I published it. And then these notes, these are the remaining notes. This is an example of like these notes I have not, I need to write them, right? And so this is something that I would either pull these sticky notes and just put them, like honestly, the best place to put them is like right here. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. These are all videos that I did not do. And some of them are old ideas. Like I might not do them, right? Like July lineup, I actually probably did record this. I'm sure I did, right? But these other videos, I might have started it, but they are like not something that I did in June, right? And so now this is in the beginning section, where before January, right, where it's all the long-term notes, and I can make a decision for those later. And I will still go through this planner and make decisions for what is going to happen. Like with these weekly pages, like there might be some additional notes in here, but for the most part, I feel like if there are some old Instagram posts, they're here, I just didn't post them, I'm just gonna be okay with not doing it, right? So if there are ideas, if they come back again, I think that's fine. But since I already have them on the post-it notes, I can just move them to the front too. But if there are some on the weekly pages, and not on sticky notes, then it's, unless I like happen to see it, I'm okay with just like kind of letting it go. And it might come back to me. It might reappear as an idea in my mind, right? So here, I just decorated it using some stickers. I don't know why I wrote Rosie's names a bunch. I was trying to test out Crayola, like super tips as like markers to like hand litter, I think. But I only posted like one video, as you can see here. I think it's kind of cute and fun. Very Lisa Frank-ish in terms of the flowers, but I only posted the one video and did nothing else basically. All right, and then this week I used a couple of big stickers. It's actually 3 big stickers, and then redated across the top like always. And I posted several videos and using the same method here that I talked about earlier. All right, here's the title, and then it's film, edit, upload, and then the 4th one would be publish. Mostly for this week, apparently, I just published at the same time, and I did not put anything really in Instagram, but if I did, they were listed down here instead. So again, I do change what I do every single week, and I like that. I like just being able to do that. You'll also notice that this week is very different in terms of style compared to this layout. It's the same layout, I guess I shouldn't say that, but the design of it is a little bit different. So I'm using like a very random mix of teacher layout pages just to be able to get through all of my old planner supplies. You'll see that once again at the end, right? And so again, this is like the end of that. And then July will be the last month that I flipped through in terms of after the pen. And what I did for July, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, is do something completely different. So I initially was going to do the some more teacher layout pages, which I had already set up and redated. But what I did instead was switch to something very small. And so this was set up in my mini Happy Planner Franken Planner, which is like right here. So it was in here initially in my Franken Planner, and then once the month was over, I moved it here just to store together with all of my social media stuff. And so these pages are again Bloom Daily Planner. I did try to decorate, but it was weekly, and I felt like mostly I had enough space, but sometimes I just was doing extra in terms of doing social media or planning, planner related stuff. This was like me resetting and reorganizing my home binders, and so I had all of these notes on sticky notes, and I literally had these on my home binders, and so I was just kind of moving my home binders around, and then once I finished with the notes, I just stuck them in here. Right, like I said, I like to just kind of keep it all until I have a sit down to look overall if there's anything I need to save. Like some of these notes, like this one, I might want to save that note, but I don't need to save it on this sheet of paper. I can just transfer it to like another sheet of paper and just save it as like one long to-do list. And I like doing that. I like being able to sit down at one time and just going through, and it's like what Dave Allen in the Getting Things Done method, he likes to call it closing the loop. And so it's closing the loop, like it's trying to find all the pending tasks and in previous weeks, and just kind of like keeping it top of mind. And the way I do that is just write it on a separate sheet of paper, or just like I showed you earlier, just pull the sticky notes and just stick them in there, right? So that's what I do, right? So like here, I definitely have a task like right here. So I need to decide, and again, I'll do this after the video, but I need to decide what to do with that task. This one I didn't even decorate, but I had these sticky notes. If I have like extra notes, or like if it doesn't fit on the week, I just write them on sticky notes and then just stick them on there. That's just, I'm a functional planner in that regards. I like the stickers. I think they make me happy and they make me smile, and they get me into my planners a lot more. These stickers are beautiful, and so I really want to be in my planners to look at these stickers. But also I'm okay writing on sticky notes. Like my sticky notes, I have stacks of sticky notes everywhere in my house, and I'm okay with writing on those. Right, and so here is the end of July going into August. For August, I did switch to a different system, and so one thing that I do like to do is if I switch systems, I like to basically end and put the entire month together. So here, even though this week in like the Happy Planner system, because August has 4 days, this would actually be in the August planner. Even though it goes in August, because I'm using it for July, I went ahead and finished out July and then just took these pages out and stuck them in here. So, it is with July. And then for August, the July pages, like this set of page in whatever planner I switch to, it would go into August, right? So I basically duplicate, like I have 2 weeks, right? So this week for July, because it's with this planner, and then the same week in my new planner that I'm using for social media will be for August, because I'm using August 1st through 4th. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's just how I do it. All right, so that is it for the flip through of like the actual planner. I'm gonna zoom back out just a tiny bit and talk to you about like what else is in here, because if you take a look, that is like the first half, right? So it's the first half. What is all this right here? Why is it so thick? Well, what I decided to do is, and I always love doing this with happy planners and all of my planners really, but definitely with happy planners, is go ahead and combine everything into one set of discs if at all possible. And what I do is, especially at the beginning of the year and in July, I like to kind of sit down and think about what the next 12 months will look like. So in January, I'm considering January through December. So for this year, it was January to December 2024. Now, since we're in August, I'm really sitting down and thinking about what August 2024 to August 2025 will be like. And so I did go through my stash of big happy planners. I do think I want to stay in a big happy planner for social media. And so what I did was I went through all of my big items and I pulled out all the teacher layout. I feel like the teacher layout was working really well for social media. And so I stuck all my teacher layout in here. Then I also decided that the only other big planner I use is for my work planner. And for work, I was using a dashboard. So I had to make a decision for what I wanted to do and use for social media versus for work. And so what I ended up settling on is, I actually don't even remember. I decided on something. But in August, I actually had enough pages. And I did this setup in January. Okay, I had enough pages, and again, random mix, but I have enough pages for August. All right, and so I've already gone ahead and redated for all of August. Again, I did that in January. September, I also had all of these pages. And for August, just by the way, since we are in August right now, I'm using something different. I'm doing a micro planner. I do have that in my August planner lineup video. And so these pages, just going back here, these pages, even though I redated them, I did this in January, these pages I'm not actually using. In fact, this is a good place to kind of move them out. I'll just take them out for just a second, right? And then for September, I may or may not go back to teacher layout pages, but I do have the teacher layout pages in here. Again, I did this all in like December 2023 or January. And I haven't gotten rid of this, but like I do that when I like sticker it up, right? So I had all the pages for October and for November and then for December. Okay, and so let's see. I had right here December 29th and then 30th and 31st. And so same kind of concept here, even though it's only 2 days, I like to have the full year or have the full month together if at all possible. And so I had that here. And then I have this sheet protector. And this is kind of like going into what I still have left, all right? Now, before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and say that these pages right here, these August pages that I didn't use, right after this divider, I have all of this. Thank you, Diana. She sent me this. It has my YouTube channel name on there, and so I just put that in there for just storage purposes. But right after that divider, right here, until like this July, I have additional teacher planner layout pages, right? So there's just so many. Like right here is where my July pages went, the one for July 2024 that I didn't use. Again, keeping in mind that in July I was using the Bloom Daily Planner, that smaller planner. And so these are the pages that I ended up not using. And when I decide not to use a month, I just take the entire month out and I move it towards the back, right? So you saw how I did that. I will go back just a little bit to, I believe it was June, right? So there was a week in June, this week right here. No, a little bit earlier. I thought it was in here. All right, it wasn't in here. It was in February. Okay, so like the example that I was discussing earlier, like with this February page, I can also take this out, just white out this one part, and pull these pages and stick them back here to reuse again. So that's kind of what I do, is keep all the used pages together, make decisions about those used pages, whether I'm recycling them or whether I'm keeping them for use again. Any long-term tasks that I have, I just basically consolidate and put into like a one giant to-do list, right? Example being something like this, or even further back, something like this, right? And so I again like to do that all at one time, making decisions, moving it to a to-do list, recycling it, or moving for future use. And so that's what I do. And so that's how I end up with all of these random pages. Some of these pages, like again, August, like today, I'm supposed to be, where am I? Back a page, right? I'm supposed to be here, but I didn't use these pages. And so now that I didn't use the page, do I throw it away? I hate to be wasteful, so I'm just gonna put it here to maybe use again in 2025. So that's what I do, right? So I put all of my remaining teacher planner pages here, and I have a lot still. That's probably half of a year's worth of teacher planner pages. So going into 2025, I probably will continue using the teacher layout for social media, just because I have these pages, right? And then after that, I went through, like I said, I went into my stash of big happy planners, and I just had to make a decision on what I wanted to do for work versus social media. And what I settled on, mostly for space purposes, is I felt like I had a lot of vertical pages. And so the vertical pages is what I stored in here. It is for the time being, for right now, what I'm going to use once I run out of teacher planner pages, all right? And so these planner pages are from 2022 going into 2023. These are the Work Plus Life planners. I purchased these planners basically for the covers more than anything, but because I have the pages, I don't want them to go to waste. And so I will do my best to adapt this format, the Work Plus Life format, to social media use, right? And so I won't flip through the pages, but that is kind of what it looks like, right? Obviously a vertical layout, but it does have the divider, the monthly, which I don't ever use. And then this is the page that I'm going to have to think about what I want to do in terms of social media, and then the vertical, right? And again, I have basically 12 months in here, right? All the way until, this is, I think, June 2023. Yeah, June 2023. So there is a 12-month planner, a full 12-month planner in here, in addition to the teacher layout pages. And it could be that in 2025, I decide to retire the teacher layout and just kind of, again, move it back here to the very end and just start with the vertical layout. Those things are one of the reasons why I love the disbound. I can move things around, but I do, generally speaking, like to put it in chronological order. So as you can see here, just flipping back a little bit, I've got August, and August right now is empty, but I have September 2024, already redated, all the way to December 2024, right? And then going into 2025, I want to be able to start with the teacher layout, the remaining outdated pages that I have, and then pick up in July 2025 with this vertical. Now, if I decide that I want to start with the vertical, what I would do is take these pages, let's just call this set. This would be set number 3. July to December would be set number 2, and then January through June would be set number 1. So these would go first, January through June. Then July through December would go second, and then these would go at the very end. That would be set number 3. So hopefully that makes sense. I would just move it chronologically, right? And so that is all. I feel like this video was much longer than I really wanted it to be, but hopefully that makes sense. Again, like, the main thing is just showing you the after the pen, but also really talking to you about like how I store planner pages. This is how I store it. And I always like to have a plan for at least a year for what I'm going to be doing with my planners. And so since we are going into the end of 2024, I now have a plan for 2024, the remainder of 2024, as well as most of 2025, in fact all of 2025 if I stick with the vertical layout. And so I am all set now. There is nothing new in here, it's all outdated, but I just like to think about and consider the things that I want to use and be really mindful of using up my supplies. And so I think these videos are important to kind of talk about and showcase how I do it. Again, you don't have to do it my way, but I do like to just at least explain my thought process so that way you can kind of see how I consider and how I do it. So that way, I don't know, if it gives you some inspiration for using up your supplies and thinking about what you do, then that's what I'm here for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave me a comment. I love answering questions. I love chatting with you. So please do leave me a comment if you have any. And like I said, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, bye guys.